Senate Republicans joining Democrats today, taking a stand against the president's national emergency declaration. This follows an unsuccessful compromise that would have affected presidential power in future administrations.
CBN News Capitol Hill correspondent Abigail Robertson joins us with the next battle in the war over the wall. Abigail?
Thanks, John and Jenna. Well, after last-minute deal-making cratered between senators in the White House, the president is preparing to override this bipartisan rebuke.
The joint resolution is passed.
Even before the Senate vote, the president dismissed its effect.
I don't know what the vote will be. It doesn't matter. I'll probably have to veto.
Preparing to use his veto power on the resolution challenging his declaration of a national emergency on the southern border.
It's pure and simple. It's a vote for border security.
President Trump remained on message, declaring on Twitter that a vote for today's resolution by Republican senators is a vote for Nancy Pelosi, crime, and the open border Democrats. Not all Republicans share that view.
For me, this is a constitutional question. This is not about the president or about border security.
Speaker Pelosi and the president were all smiles at the Capitol to honor the Irish Prime Minister, even as the speaker prepared to send the measure against the president to his desk.
The Senate will hopefully vote for the Constitution of the United States to uphold the oath of office that we all take by, again, voting to reject the president's unconstitutional measure that does violence on the Constitution.
Without the necessary votes to overturn a sure veto, their approval will have little effect.
A lot of this is drama that really won't accomplish anything.
As the battle over whether it's an emergency rages on, the White House last night released a video from Customs and Border Patrol showing 247 illegal immigrants crossing into the United States at the beginning of the year.
You on the wall, don't move! Let's leave off!
Adding to those optics, the Vice President's trip Tuesday to see U.S. Customs and Border Protection in action.
With the crisis we face on our southern border, we're particularly grateful for Customs and Border Protection.
This is a true partnership.
Joining Pence, the Secretary of Homeland Security, releasing new numbers that border arrests spiked to 75,000 last month alone. That's up 80% over last February.
Very dangerous work at our southern border at a time where we're seeing an unprecedented influx of people that are being driven by human traffickers and drug cartels.
Well, the resolution and the president's expected veto is sure to spark a new battle in the country's court system. For now, though, the president is prepared to take any embarrassment that comes from overturning a bipartisan rebuke in order to make good on a long-promised border wall.
Abigail, how last minute were these negotiations between the White House and these few senators who joined in this rebuke?
Well, Jenna, what we're hearing is that they were very last minute. There's reports of 3 Republican senators who actually basically crashed the White House last night around dinner time, hoping to talk to the president and work out some kind of compromise. Those negotiations continued into this morning, likely leading very close up to this afternoon's vote, but clearly they couldn't find any kind of deal out, as we saw that this rebuke actually went through today.
And Abigail, who are the holdout Republicans here?
Well, there's 12 of them, so I'm going to read them off. The Republican senators who voted with Democrats on this were Rand Paul, Mike Lee, Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, Lamar Alexander, Mitt Romney, Jerry Moran, Pat Toomey, Rob Portman, Roger Wicker, Marco Rubio, and Roy Blunt. And interesting to note, Senator Tom Tillis, one of the first Republicans who said that he was going to vote with Democrats on this issue. He wrote an op-ed about this in February. He actually changed his mind at the last minute and ended up voting against with his party on this issue. So he was one of the last minute flips. But ultimately the vote total was 59 to 41. Remember, it takes 67 votes to override a presidential veto. So they won't be able to do that with even though it was a rather large number of Republicans who voted with Democrats today. But these are Republicans who aren't necessarily against border security. In fact, many of them are very much for border security, but they really are concerned just about the precedent that that declaring a national emergency to tap into these funds sets for future presidents. And they fear that a Democrat president could be in power soon and declare a national emergency on an issue like climate change to access these funds. So that was really the basis of the reason for this vote. They just fear about the executive power overreach that letting this national emergency declaration go through would send.
All right, well, they have spoken. Abigail Robertson for us on the Hill.